the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. 5 days straight, no rest, oh well. I don't need no scale. I've been on my, I don't need no help. Always getting money, rains, no sleep. Every day I work my thoughts. I don't get to take off. The haters get up. I'm ready like lift off. I never been nowhere, but I'm ready to stay gone. Nothing ever lasts long. I'm always beating the odds. Taking all these trips, I had to go and get a passport. I'm just trying to live. I don't know what these mad for. I just signed a deal and got a really big bag for it. Still at your mama crib and getting money, you gotta ask for it. I got tired of complaining. I got a bitch chase my. Ain't no point in hesitating. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind.
Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports, and there you get a look at Paul Brown Stadium on the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati. The enthusiasm of this Cincinnati crowd in full effect a moment ago as their Bengals took the field to the delight of this sold-out crowd, and they're all set as they'll match up with the Baltimore Ravens. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports.
Here we go. Here we go.
PAT!
Right there. You ain't going nowhere.
This is Joe Mixon, fourth in the NFL in rushing last season. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
The 30-yard line.
The first down run got 5. Here's 2nd and 5.
Let's go, Heavy. Heavy, what you got? What you got, Heavy? What you got, Heavy? Give me something. Give me something. Here we go. Here we go.
Dalton with a give here to Mixon. He takes this from the 30 to the 34.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
But just play number 3 here on the opening drive, and it's an early 3rd and 1. He gets this one to Boyd. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 18 yards on that one, and the Bengals are moving. First down. So in Raven territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 47. Now Joe Mixon. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
From the 44, Dalton looking left sideline, incomplete. He was looking for his favorite target, A.J. Green, that time. But now it'll be 3rd down.
Had an open man that time, but ended up putting a little too much heat on it, don't you think, partner?
Absolutely. Just needed a touch more air under it. Instead, he fired an absolute bullet.
They're running it. 58, boys. 58. 58's Mike. Check right. Check right. 58's the Regular. Come on. Let's go, defense.
Third down, a shot here for Dalton. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And fourth down now coming up.
I think we'll see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. And that one will skip out of bounds as the linesman will mark this thing right at the 15-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 15. From the gun, it's Jackson. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Williams. And they'll start with great field position at the 41-yard line. Now a first carry for Giovanni Bernard. They'll fight forward for a couple down inside the 40.
Well, we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
From the 39, Dalton. That's complete. Bernard. Call it a gain of 3, and that'll lead here to a third down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Third down from the gun. Dalton gets it to his running back, Bernard. No gain at all on the play there, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still, no yardage. Okay.
And Bullock will put this one through. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. They got the interception, but very little movement after. That forces him to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And, Charles, if the season ended today, and it's not going to, we still have December left. We're only in November. But they would be a wild card team. And that's great. They'd be in the playoffs, but you know they're trying to bump up to be one of those division leaders.
That guarantees you at least one home game in the playoffs, and that's what you're really seeking. But there also isn't much margin for error for this team, right? Because right where they're sitting, a 2-game losing streak can have them out of the playoffs, so they've got to make sure they continue to keep the momentum going.
Absolutely. There's some sharks smelling blood in the water behind them. Yeah, this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down. Baltimore was the most run-heavy team in the league last year after Lamar Jackson took over as a starter. And you think about Mark Ingram. He goes from a situation where he was sharing time with Kamara in New Orleans. Now he figures to be the top guy in the Baltimore backfield. Although I guess you could say he's kind of splitting time with his quarterback, Lamar Jackson. But a great veteran presence. Mark Ingram is behind Jackson. Ingram now in his 9th NFL season. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 27 yards there, a first down.
First down, Baltimore.
So they'll come up in Bengals territory now with a 1st and 10 as they're down to the 29-yard line. And now Jackson will look to throw it, letting one go deep, and he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Marquise Brown, his 6th touchdown of the season, and the Ravens have taken the lead. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round.
That's a gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 1.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter.
No. Jumping.
After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports.
Bengals 3.
And the Bengals on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation.
Haywood. 58, the mic.
Despite only needing 1, Dalton to throw. Looking for Green, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line.
Boy, Brandon, that's what I'd call an ill-advised pass right there on 3rd down. I mean, you just need a yard or 2 to keep the drive going. Instead, he's trying to hit a home run. You've got to really like your chances if you're going to take a shot like that.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. But what do you think? You get the ball off the turnover near the middle of the field. You take a shot here in the first play?
You know I'm big on that. I love when I have great field position. After a turnover, I feel like I might have them a little bit off balance. I prefer to take a shot, but a lot of coaches will tell you, you only do it if you trust the guy who's got the football in his hands. Meaning, if it's not there, he won't force it downfield and maybe turn it into an interception. He'll go to the check down, go to a second option, and go ahead and take the play that's in front of him.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. From the gun, Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact, no call, and it's 3rd down.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, as it turned out. Couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight. Unable to find anyone open.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
50, Mike's 50. Ready? Mike.
Jackson from the shotgun. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete.
And that's why defenders are often frustrated offensive guys. Actually made the catch, looked good doing it, but couldn't get his feet down in order to finish off the takeaway.
And this will do the job nicely, as that'll be out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line. The field position game, such an overlooked facet, Charles, of an NFL game, but this offense, they're going to be pinned back. What an ideal punt.
An ideal punt, and it leads to that term complementary football, because them doing that puts their defense in a great spot, doesn't it? Gives them a chance. If they want to be aggressive, try and maybe get a safety out of this whole thing, it puts them in that position.
This is Mixon, and he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Marlon Humphrey with the tackle defensively. You don't see that a ton, do you? The cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
Throwing on second down. Dalton. He's got Green. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. The Bengals on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This will be 3rd and 6.
Hey, orbit. 58 to Mike, 58. 58 to Mike. Let's go, let's go.
Out of the gun, it's Dalton. And Tate's got it. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11. CD, with that last pass, he joined a group of about 50 other men that are over 30,000 career passing yards. So, look, he's not at the top, but that's pretty good company.
Yeah, it's not the most exclusive fraternity in the NFL. It's a pretty good one, isn't it? You still have to put some numbers up in order to get in, okay? The secret knock is still there. How about him getting it done? Proud of him.
That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. From the gun again to Mixon. And he'll get it up near the 35, right at the 34 here. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much.
368. 58 to Mike.
1st and 10 for Dalton. He finds his running back, Mixon. A Bengal first down on the 16-yard pickup there. Well, this is how you shake the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when, and he told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 14.
Lead. Mike, 58, right there. No gain on this defense, no gain.
Dalton here from the gun. 1:57 to go in this first half on EA Sports. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And now here's a deep shot that's complete. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 30. Nice completion there for Andy Dalton. Charles, you worked some of his games when he was at TCU. Now you've worked his games in the NFL. What progression have you seen?
I've seen a guy who took over as a freshman in college and got better and better each year. Always added a little bit more to his game, gets stronger. But the best part about him is he's always been accurate.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. To throw here, Dalton. And this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
Well, already seen him catch a few passes out of the backfield in the first half, unable to connect on that one.
Certainly seems like getting him the ball out of the passing game, though, is part of their game plan.
It certainly is, because he catches it well, creates a mismatch. You're going to cover him with a linebacker, a corner, a safety. They feel like he can win every battle.
He's got his man, Boyd. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down.
But we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as they stop it here with just under 40 ticks to go in this first half.
44. Here you go. You think you're going to get this?
On 2nd and 7, Dalton looking for Boyd, and he's got him. Touchdown, Bengals. Tyler Boyd, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Bengals are going to jump back in front.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Marty looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 22-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. You're down 3, under a minute to go. How aggressive are you going to be in this spot?
Not as aggressive as I probably would want to be. Only down 3. I mean, it might as well be even going into the half.
That's trying for Brown, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Darquez Denard. And he will bring it back. It's a pick 6 for Bengals TD. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. This will be taken in at the 1. And he will be marked down right there at the 20-yard line.
Take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. You've got less than 30 seconds left here in the half. You're well on your own side of the field. What are we doing here, Coach Davis?
Well, I'm trying something on 1st down. And it's something that's safe. It's something that's been done many times before. A lot of people say it's not even worth trying, but I'm running a draw. I'm running a screen. I'm seeing if something pops. And if it does, that can alter my strategy and potentially get me some points. And if it doesn't work, well, then you just run the clock out and go to the locker room.
Jackson on 1st down. It's caught by Mark Ingram. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on 1st down. Jackson fakes the give and keeps it. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked off by Sean Williams. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back on track.
And this is where the coach is walking that line of being calm and really being firm with his team. I had one tell me once, when we were having a tough patch, this too shall pass, this too shall pass. And finally we kept having a rough patch. He said, but you've got to do something
Heads up.
to make it pass. And that's what they have to do. They've got to get some control back, get themselves reasserted, and calm things down.
See if they can get calm and reassert themselves here. And a 5-yard gain gets them to the 42. Despite the scoreline, I think they've got to like where they are here. They're on the road and just one big play away from getting right back in this game.
I'm going to follow right along with you because the spot they're in now, is a credit to their defense. They've kept them in it by making the plays that they've made, and that just means you're one big score away from being right back there.
Now the question is, can this offense step up and make that play? Because that's been an issue for them in this game. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down.
Check, 59.
Operating from the gun, Jackson, and that is incomplete.
And we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. On is the punter, Cook, who sends it away. Taken in at the 11. It's a net of 40 there, a punt of 48, and a return of 8. And the Bengals will take over here first and 10. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut them down. Let's see if the offense gets done.
From midfield here, Dalton. And that's complete. It's Green here. Just a yard on the catch there. It'll be 2nd and 9.
The goal of a wide receiver screen is get enough blockers in front to create a wall and let him pick his spot to run the football. How about the defense there, swarming to it and not allowing that to happen? Did not let him get downfield.
They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes us 2nd and 9.
58's the money. It's going to be a long day. Hey, echo. 58's the money.
Andy Dalton. He completes it to Boyd. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
Now on third down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete. This defense trying to do its part, active hands on that play, but their offense hasn't given them much to work with.
So they're not going to worry about it. On their side of the ball, all they're concerned about, can they create some scoring opportunities and help out that offense?
The Bengals bring out their punter now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback.
Let's go.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
On 2nd and 11 now. Jackson. Oh, a battle for it here, and this will be caught. They get 14 on that one. That's good for a Baltimore first down. For Lamar Jackson, his first NFL start came against the Cincinnati Bengals November 18th in Baltimore of last year, and he threw for 150 yards, ran for 119 more as the Ravens won 24-21 to kick off what became a 6-1 final stretch that got him the AFC North title. They'll throw on first down with Jackson. Got him in. It's Brown. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
When we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Now after that sack, it's 3rd and long for Jackson and the Ravens. Here's Jackson on 3rd and long. He uncorks it for Snead. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way in for a Ravens touchdown. Willie Snead. His 3rd touchdown now on the year, as they are now just an extra point away from making this a 3-point game. Tucker able to connect on the extra point, and the lead's down to a field goal at 17-14. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he'll take this up past the 20 and down at the 22-yard line. The Bengals drive about to get going. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. Give him 17 at a Cincinnati first down. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Back now in Cincinnati. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Mixon with a first down carry. He'll get a nice chunk there on the first down run, and it's 2nd and 4.
All right, that's a decent game there, but it hasn't been his best game overall. So I wonder what the mindset is of his team. Do they want him to handle the football and try and close this game out? Or are they going to make an alternative plan and maybe go in a different direction?
I think they need him, and this is his time to shine. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. 7 yards there and a first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
93, 52, 93, 45.
On 1st and 10, here's Andy Dalton. Flushed out right. And he was hit as he threw it there, and it forces it incomplete.
And that's one he's got to be happy to have back. There wasn't a hole open in the zone.
You'd have to think on early downs like that first down there, need to be a little bit more careful.
Yeah, fortunately for him, got a couple more downs to play with.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10.
58.
Hey, Delta.
Watch the pass.
Throwing again. Dalton. And the catch good. It's Eifert. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Let's just break this down and make it pretty simple. Key to the drag route, letting the play develop, finding the hole in the defense, and giving your athlete, yes, athlete, a chance to make something happen once he has the ball in his hands.
He gets this one to Boyd. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
Off the play fake to Mixon. This is Dalton. He completes it to Tate. Another nice gain. 13 yards that time and another first down. Dalton going to break the huddle, come up 1st and 10. And he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. Mixon. And he'll get this one down to about the 10-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Able to stay in bounds, so the clock keeps rolling. And this defense right now backed up in the red zone. Another touchdown, it's over. They've got to stand tall quickly.
Been in this spot before. Now there's a little bit of desperation creeping in. And all you're doing when you're talking to your defensive teammates is, the first guy there, hold him up. Second, third guy in, rake at the football. Get it out. We got to create a turnover because one more score, and this game's over.
4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big third down. From the gun, Dalton looks to throw, escaping the pressure right. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a one-score game. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm looking at the down and distance, and that's where the issue comes in. It's not short enough that it's a no-brainer and you go for it. You have to analyze this one. To me, you take the field goal, take the point. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At their own 22-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. Jackson now, throwing again. Forced out to his left. Jackson hit, and he lost the football. And the Bengals grab it. And now off to the races, down the right side. And this is taken into the end zone. A fumble recovery and a Cincinnati touchdown. So now Dalton will lead the Bengals to the line as he'll come up and go for 2.
Here we go, D.
All right, let's see what Dalton can do after the fumble recovery.
It's interesting that when it comes to two-point conversions, even heavy run teams tend to throw the ball in these situations. In this case, this one was intercepted.
Yeah, they weren't fooled. They were ready for the pass, picked it off. This will be taken in at the 1. And he'll get across the 20 before he's brought down at about the 23-yard line.
At their own 23-yard line.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And they weren't on the sidelines for long, but I'll tell you what, I'm glad you and I weren't down there. We could hear them, the coaches from all the way up here. They were adamant, you've got to hold on to the football or else we have no hope.
Yeah, it's easy for me to laugh sitting up here, but you're exactly right. If we were down there, that message would have been received a whole different way. Because
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. 2 minutes left to play in this football game here on EA Sports. So it's Raven football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Stepping up, he'll try and run. And not much there at all as he'll get this only up to about the 11. And a nickel look here for the Bengals as they try to defend this on 3rd. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. 4th down now after a loss of 2.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out. They're going on 4th down. It's Griffin. And that is caught. He's got his running back downfield. And he gets this one just shy of the 35 to the 34. They keep the game alive, at least for the moment, as it's a 1st down. play action. Now Griffin. He's going to let it fly. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Sean Williams. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And that gives him now 3 interceptions in the game.
Well, someone's locked into what they're trying to get done in the passing game. When was the last time we had someone get 3 in a contest?
2011, wasn't it, Kurt Coleman?
Oh, yeah, that's
then
right.
With the Eagles?
That's right. Then with the Eagles, and I believe it was against Washington and Rex Grossman.
That's correct. A first down run, not going to get him a whole lot. Maybe a yard. Yeah, it looks like just 1 yard there. So that'll bring up 2nd and 9. So 2nd and 9, and you'd have to figure just about all 11 probably crashing the line here. Not running. Dalton wants to throw. They'll set up the screen here to mix him. A big pickup there, and without question, that should be more than enough to wrap this one up. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. They'll run here with Mixon. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop him with a little over 30 ticks to go in the football game. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. They'll get this out wide to Boyd. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to him? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage.
A 39-yard attempt.
And the kick is good. So you wonder how this one might be remembered the next time these two teams meet. But until then, this game's over. Well, a little drama there at the end, but really this thing was already decided. The late points get scored, and then it ends on the kickoff.
And I'm right there with you, partner. At the end of the game, they knew what they had to do. Just make sure you don't cough up the football at the end. Just take care of it, and victory was theirs, and that's exactly what they did.
So for the Bengals,